All right, everybody, welcome. We are at episode 52, the 1 year mark. Oh my goodness. Wow, and they said it wouldn't last.
Yeah, every time I've gone back and forth with this whole 1 year thing today, it feels like it's like an anniversary. It feels like a relationship, right? It's
man.
Not a business relationship. It's like I don't know. We've known each other for a long time now. It's
Heck
weird,
yeah, man. It's awesome. I love it. So cool. And hey, man, thanks. I know it's tough at your house at times. You got a lot going on, newborn, everything like that. So really glad you're here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm again, we've been talking about it for a long time, and I think at now that we've hit the mark, like we can chill off on this. Hey, it's episode this, it's episode that. Like we can relax a little bit, but it really is it's a big milestone, and it's cool to be here. Like, when I got involved with Axie 3 years ago now, again, I came from general crypto. And most projects don't last that long. You look at them kind of as a, hey, am I gonna make some money off this? This looks cool. Like, this looks like it could do something interesting. And you kind of just jump in and don't really expect it to be around 3 years later. So I don't know, man. The fact that everything's like we're moving, we're grooving, like it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. Every day is crazy.
It's awesome. And it's just amazing how it feels like, literally a day goes by and it's a week goes by, it's like a month. Things just fly by, and I think that sometimes people get into that mindset and they can't be patient. Like, there's some huge changes that happen with SLP and the battles, and it's going to take a while. And I know everything feels like it's always just like an hour goes by and it's like a day, but we've got to be patient. We got to let things take their time and figure things out. Speaking of which, let's give this quick disclaimer. So
This
much fun.
content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. You shouldn't construe any such information or material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. We have no responsibility for your decisions and are not game devs, and our opinions could be flawed.
Yeah, definitely no responsibility for your decisions, but we're here to talk about it. Thank you for the hype train. What a great gift on our anniversary to get a nice hype train and the subs that we've gotten. Thank
right
you
off
so
the
much.
bat.
Yeah, so cool. We appreciate it so much. Welcome to the public stream. As everybody knows, we do this stream for the public. We also get this set up to be on the replay on YouTube and the podcast. And really, this is a podcast format. So it's kind of Enjoi and I just hashing things out. Every now and then we get guests. We're looking forward to having some pretty awesome guests here in the future. But this was our 1-year anniversary Axie Chat, so we decided to go at it alone.
Yeah, we're not letting anybody crash the party today.
No. Just everybody's just joining us here in the chat and hanging out with us, and we appreciate it very much. So there's I have to do it. It's a year anniversary, so I have to do it.
No.
I have to, right? I mean, there isn't too much going on, man. What are we going to talk about tonight? Did anything happen?
Is this what you had to do? You had to do your little shtick. So it's funny. So I got a little surprise for our after party. I mean, nothing crazy, but I went back and looked at everything we had done over the year, and again, I gotta repeat it. We started this thing because when we were starting, there was just nothing to talk about. It was boring week to week. There was no news. There was no, there was definitely community, but there wasn't this whole art scene. There wasn't, the competitive esports scene. And we got some news about that today. But we started this to fill the gap, to fill the time, to keep people entertained in between, these months of no news. And now, you ask me if we had anything to talk about this week. It's like every week there's months worth of news, which is, again, I keep throwing out insane. It's all insane.
It's just wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. But you're right.
Wild.
It's been crazy because, we really were kind of trying to sort through what are we going to talk about? When is there going to be some news from the team? And now we get news regularly, usually right after Axie Chat. And that's just great. We're happy to sum everything up and then get new things to talk about. Just want to remind everybody, we do have some merch things and news in the Axie space because things have happened. And I don't know if people are paying close attention to the slides, but there's a little theme tonight that I'm having a good time with. All right, so it is the 1-year anniversary of Axie Chat.
Are we stacking wood every slide? Did I catch on already?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God.
So
guys, I let him loose on these slides. I have no input, and I don't see it until we go through it. This is all baronar. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Go on, we're going.
You just, that's part of the fun of this show.
Axie bongos.
You having to deal with whatever I put up there on the slides, and that's part of the fun, my man. So, but it's crazy to think that last August we got this thing going. As you were kind of saying before, we were kind of looking for things to talk about, but it's our passion, and we've just had a great time doing this, and we're looking forward to the next year and beyond. Everything just seems so awesome in Axie right now. Just before we were going on the show, the crypto market seems to be in a little bit of, I don't know, it dropped. Things dropped.
We've had a run up over the last couple of weeks. Yep. It's been, I gotta just delete the word crazy from my vocabulary. But yeah, things have been going well the last couple of weeks, and I guess it's time. It's time for that little drawdown.
Yeah, and it's all good. Again, market cycles are important in this space, and it's just like real life. Things go up and down in value. Thank you for the sub, Tito. That's so cool. Newfound, thanks for bringing us in, by the way. Great job. Really, really awesome.
Epic.
Super epic. And Newfound is just like a walking art piece. I love it. I love what he does, and it's just so cool. So yeah, that happened, and we're still at it. The Discord is crazy. In case people haven't been aware, we're almost at the cap, 14,000 away. They're constantly having to prune the Discord to keep it
Well,
under the
plus
limit.
and plus they started splitting it off. So now we've got a Filipino server and we've got a Spanish server as well.
So incredible. Yeah, that's perfect for you to bring that up. I mean,
Yeah.
it just again shows the agility of the team. I mean, there are things that just have to be like created from nothing, and that takes time and that's hard to do. But the things that they can react to, the things that they can control, oh, they're just so on top of it, and I'm so impressed. Like they've done some things really, really quickly. They just show great agility in the space and able to really react to the things that are happening. And I'm just super, super proud of the team. And, you know, if you think of it, if you have a chance, there's always so much kind of like wanting this and wishing that. And, you know, could you make SLP do this? Could we have this or that? You know, and as opposed to that, maybe you guys could try to find something super positive that you really like that the team has done recently, and maybe throw out a tweet about that, or tell somebody thanks or something like that. I guess at the year episode I can be Mr. Positive Guy, right? I think that's fair. Wow, thanks.
Right.
Thanks for the subs, Max. Wow.
Jeez.
But, you know, I think
Mr.
people
Positivity.
thrive on. Yeah, I think people thrive on that, though. People tend to do better when there is some positivity instead of just all negative. Anytime Psych Out is saying, you know, this is why we can't have nice things, I'm just like, you know, let's have some positivity instead of some negativity so that we can, you know, be excited about things. All right.
Yeah, you know, and I'll just throw out too, like,
Yeah.
so I keep track of pretty much all of the different modes of communication for Axie, and it just seems like, you know, again, growing so fast, more importantly, it's so hard to keep the same messaging with the community and the same values in the community, and so that's something that we kind of keep trying to reinstill or I don't know, just keep top of mind, is like, hey, everything's going really well. Like, yeah, there's some bumps in the road, but, you know, bumps are expected when things are growing this fast. Like, we want to be positive, we want to be working together and growing together, and all trying to celebrate wins together. So you know, if you guys are visiting any of these other forums or whatever, try and keep that in mind. Like, it's not all negative. It's, I mean, really not negative at all.
No. Yeah.
But it's but you know, is some FUD, and there's some people that are, you know, trying to bring us down, and there's some people that just don't understand that there's a bigger picture too.
Yeah.
Again, you know, looking at the broader crypto space, there's just so much of this, like, you know, fly by night sort of organization, you know, that
Yep.
wrecks people all the time. So
Well, and
yeah,
what's crazy,
we got to keep positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's crazy, the slide we have right up now for people who are just listening is about the esports news, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit more depth. But one kind of crazy thing in my mind is the tendency for gamers in particular to somehow have this aversion to people being able to capitalize from a financial basis on the game that they're involved with, and that just kind of blows my mind. I don't know why there's this, but a lot of gamers are like, oh, you can make money playing that game, well then I'm not interested in that. Like, I that's mind-blowing to me. I mean, they are just like, they have bought into the corporate message about gaming, and to me, like, break free from that. Like, if you're a gamer listening, like, there are other options now, and let's push for those options so that they're even more in the future, so that they're even better moving forward. And that's what gets me excited, is when the team has been so clear about wanting to turn that space on its head and empower players to be able to really be rewarded financially from being involved in a game. I think that's awesome. And it's kind of leads right into this esports announcement, which I was really excited about. Did you get a chance to look through this one?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's huge. It's huge. I didn't expect 31 tournaments. I mean, it's, you know, we're looking at the next 6 months through December. So that's, dude, don't make me do math right now. that's a lot of tournaments a month. That's a lot going on. That's almost every weekend filled up.
It's incredible. And that, you know, having a schedule like this is just a wonderful thing. 31 tournaments. Yeah, I talked with Ziori earlier today, and he Ziori was just talking about how many people applied. Having to turn some of them down felt bad, but to some extent, like, how can you do that many? I mean, it's going to be incredible to pull off 31 tournaments that have been approved through December. But one thing I thought about that, Q3 to Q4 2021, the esports with 31 events and that incredible prize pool, is that kind of indicating that we're going to have the battle system for the rest of the year? Or can we take anything from that? What did you get that sense, or what do you think?
Well, I don't know if that gives me any leaks in particular. I mean, they separated it out just because it was, they need, especially if they're broadcasting this stuff, right? If people are setting aside their Saturdays to compete in these tournaments, they need things to be stable. And I think that things are much closer to stable than they were a few months ago, even a month ago. But back then they shut down a lot of the the challenges, the ability for replays, and there were also a lot of things too that you couldn't do with the previous battle system that would probably be beneficial for a larger esports focused tournament server. One of the things I think I saw mentioned in here was that there's going to be a 4-minute delay for casters. So they're going to be able to build in stuff that is a little bit more focused on the experience, the audience experience, the player experience, and the caster experience. Those are all important and things that they kind of existed in the past iteration, but weren't quite all there.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens moving forward, because the current battles game is so loved by so many of the esports, fanatics, and it's an incredible game. It's especially incredible when you get down to the ends of some of those tournaments, and it really comes down to like one card, one move, one pick, and the order that those are played in, and that's the difference between getting a big payout or coming in second, or however the tournament format is. But I love it. It's really, really awesome in that sense. I haven't been able to get myself to focus that much on the current battles game, but I still think it's incredible, and I think it's a game that shouldn't just be completely lost. When they talk about mini games, especially in the last release about upgrades and stuff, and talking about mini games, I could totally see the possibility that this particular iteration of battles continues on and maybe continues to be kind of an esport option. We see that, like original StarCraft with the ASL and the different things. I watch some of that still. I love that original StarCraft.
Yeah.
So there are pathways that show us that has happened, where older games, the older iterations, continue to be played by people. So I think that would be pretty cool.
Well, look at Ziori's coming from the Dota scene, right? And Dota in particular is known for just building out functionality to kind of enable creativity, right? It's very adaptable, and that's part of what made it really interesting to watch and really interesting to for streamers to be part of. Another thing I saw through here too is the allocations of access seem to be it's a lot of money. What was that, 5,000, something like that? How much is that?
5,500. So 5,560 access. So the total
times 70, we're looking at $389,000.
It's crazy.
Is that right?
Yeah,
that's a big number.
Yeah, I think it even said 370,000, but it's already gone up a little bit. And I mean, it's kind of all of crypto prices have been weird today, but it's all good.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing I noticed too is so there's 31 different tournaments. Most of them are between 100 and 200, and there's some bigger tournaments too that are I think up to 300 or 400. But even those small tournaments with 100 access, you're looking at $7,000 in prizes, and these aren't big regional tournaments or anything like that. These are something that maybe a group or a scholarship had applied for. So that's really cool that they're in a way I don't know, they're giving money to these scholarships in a way. To host these tournaments, which is really cool. And one of the big tournaments I saw looks like CoinGecko's holding it. So now we've got bigger businesses that are also getting involved with the Axie economy.
I noticed that too. CoinGecko, YGG's doing one, Loot Squad's doing one. I love seeing some of that. I hate pointing out particular ones, so I just point out kind of the ones that stuck out to me. But definitely,
Right.
Axie GG had several of them. Obviously, they are kind of the front runners, the pioneers of the space, and it's awesome to see. The very first one, I guess, did that happen earlier today, or is that still in process? I have it actually a slide for it, so
the next
I can't
Axie
remember.
GG tournament.
Yeah, the open 2.
All right, I'll let you get to your slide. I don't want to
Okay.
step on my own toes.
All right, so awesome news about the esports server. Very, very good to have esports coming back. You know, that just kind of got squashed, I guess, because of quashed. Because of just the incredible levels of growth and adoption to Axie Infinity. So had to be shut down for a minute, but glad to see it coming back. This was a great one. I've got the slide up for the announcement from programmatically about the official support.
Can you say the whole? We've gone a year. I need to hear you say that full name correct. All right, good. We got it.
Yeah, I just had to slow down. Ziori had to slow down today, man. Even Ziori had struggles with it. So
say it 3 times fast now. No, okay.
No,
we're moving on.
Yeah.
So we finally got our support portal, which we've been talking about for a long time. This is huge news. You know, crypto in and of itself is hard to maneuver for most people. Never mind the whole, you know, game, especially the alpha game thing. Never mind having to buy Axies and, you know, go through the marketplace and all this other stuff. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome, at least right now. So this is huge news.
Yeah, I mean, and Max makes a great point in chat. Appreciate those that can be here and contribute. And it should help to reduce the scammers, because I think a lot of scammers use names of well-known people in the team, pretend to be them, and then try to offer support and then scam them into giving their phrases and so forth. So this should help in that regard. But again, I don't know if we can say it too much. Never give anybody your passwords. Never give anybody your secret phrase. Never give anybody a key. Never, ever, ever. Just don't do it. So yeah, this is great.
Or a website. Don't put those in a website either, because every time you have to, like, if you're not creating a wallet, you never ever need to put those anywhere. That's all there is to it.
Correct. Yep. Unless you're using it to create your wallet from a backup. Yep. Absolutely.
Right.
But what I love about this is we're starting to move more into the phase of, and I talked with Ziori about this a little bit, we're kind of moving more into the phase where Axie Infinity is kind of pulling on its big boy pants, is a way to say it.
Right, 100%.
They're acting like a real gaming company, realizing that they need to have some support staff, they need to have an esports person specifically. You know, it's going to be more and more. They're improving their development group. Their growth team, I think, is going to improve. And you know, again, you and I've talked about this. They haven't really marketed, other than doing some interviews and some chat sessions and so forth. They really have not put anything into marketing Axie Infinity at all. So where we are is without any sort of marketing wing at all.
Yeah. I mean, they're growing faster than they can. I mean, they can handle it now. Hopefully, I'm curious to see what's going on with these, you know, the back end servers that they, you know, all these fixes that they implemented to kind of fix some of that slowness that we were facing a few weeks back. But they haven't needed to market, and honestly, if they did market, it may be too much, like more than we can handle right now.
Yeah.
But you know, going back to something that you said earlier, you know, the team is nimble, and we're seeing more of that nimbleness come up. I was talking with somebody last week, and I think they grew from 13 people this year so far to 40.
Wow.
That's a big team. Plus, now they're making hires with the community part of the treasury, or you know, the access allocation, which is cool. Plus, now, you know, we've got programmatically, who's also hiring out a team for support. Like, I think that we're going to start seeing all of these areas. Like, I mean, programmatically Pull just got involved a month ago. Like, that wasn't too long ago, and now we're already seeing all these great changes. But
It
I
hasn't
think we're
been that
going to
long.
start seeing like these fireworks in these different areas just start going off, and stuff's going to start launching. And I mean, some of it's not huge, right? Like this isn't a game changer for people who've been involved,
Right.
but it is a game changer for people having a great experience.
It absolutely is, and it helps with people who are onboarding and just getting started into Axie Infinity. It's just going to be great. It's already got a really great, system of support. You know, your normal kind of is this the issue that you're having, and it kind of filters you through to where you need to be and tries to give you the community answers, the community support, and then you can ask
Right.
questions if you have issues beyond that. And I love it. I think that most things are going to be able to be answered through that support site, and that people are going to be able to go to that official support portal and get the help that they need, which is wonderful. Sometimes I worry that people, rather than searching and learning and trying to figure out the answer on their own, they ask something in the Discord chat, and this is great. We can just say, hey, no, you need to go to the portal first.
Right. 100%. Yeah, I'm really getting tired of seeing people get scammed. And it's definitely not Axie's fault. It's just, people either not thinking or not being experienced with the space. And I see that, Wood. Let's go to the next page. I think that's the cue.
All right.
He's over here fondling Wood. Just
I love it when I can get you to say things.
Circumnavigating it.
Awesome. Okay, so speaking of the agility and nimbleness of the team, this one was wonderful. This was a concern I had because we saw kind of the prices of some of the floor Axies dropping kind of rapidly. And it was, I think that the floor Axies have kind of been relegated to some extent, unless you find, a real treasure down there, which you can find a gem on the floor if you're looking and you're studying and learning how to play the game. But having them for energy but not actually getting the energy boost was not a very good situation. But they fixed it very, very quickly and got that done, which I love that. I like that about the team. They realize that there's something important and they focus on it and they get it done. Excellent.
I want to keep making comments about your wood placement. Okay. Yeah, no, I see it. I just noticed it's gray and small on this one, and
well, I wanted to match the. Yeah, it's all good. All right. So amazing things happening in the community. So cool. And I had got an airdrop from Blackpool. I've actually bought a little bit more and then just put it into the staking of Blackpool. I don't know what's happening there, other than I saw that their token price has gone up a ton. But more importantly than any of that, look at what Blackpool is about. Getting some food bags and helping out with the community. All of this donated by the scholars to help feed people in need. I just absolutely love this. Julian posted this and the information from Blackpool. Way to go, Blackpool. I mean, if this is what YGG and Blackpool and CTG and all the different guilds that are coming about are going to be about, then that is just wonderful. It makes me really excited to support them and hold their tokens, just to know that I'm partially, behind this by holding some tokens, by participating in their system, in their guild in that way. So way to go. So incredibly cool.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. We talk a lot about how people playing Axie is enough to lift people out of poverty or change somebody's life or put a roof over somebody's head, and that's an awesome, just insane concept in and of itself. But this wasn't done by the organization Blackpool. At least it doesn't seem like it. It was done by the scholars. So now you're empowering somebody to lift themselves, and then they're going and doing the same for their community. And I think that's really cool. Like now we're seeing this whole this just tornado whirlwind effect. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
Super awesome. And I love the Blackpool shirts. Wow, they look awesome. Really cool. Really cool. And then over here on this slide as well, talking about SLP becoming more and more a currency. We've talked about that previously, but I love the kind of analogy here. There's more day-to-day usage as a currency of Smooth Love Potion of SLP than Bitcoin in El Salvador. And we see that in the Philippines. We're seeing that more and more in different places, and that's pretty awesome. I think I love seeing an Axie digital asset actually, being a currency that's being accepted, which is very, very fascinating to me because, again, we've said over and over and over, SLP is for breeding Axies, and it has value. There's no question that it has value, but it is absolutely awesome to see it being used more and more as a currency because it has value.
Yeah, no, that's, well, I think there's another reason too, and that's really interesting that you bring up El Salvador, because they just made all sorts of news stories about how they're the first country that accepts Bitcoin as legal tender or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Is that correct?
They are. Yeah.
Right. So now people are utilizing SLP more than Bitcoin there, and I think that the real reason is that people there aren't being paid in Bitcoin.
Correct.
You're not making income off of Bitcoin.
Right.
However, the people are earning SLP and being paid out, every 14 days. So it's much easier to spend
usable?
what you. Well,
it's
that's
actually
my point,
obtainable.
Right? That's my point. Is like we've had this conversation about cryptocurrency for so long, and why it doesn't make a great a transfer of I don't know, economic value.
Exactly.
I'm getting too deep there, but
no, yeah, I agree.
But the fact that people are actually, earning this, it allows them to spend it, right? Because they're just going to make more of it next week, and the amount's not going to go down generally. But they're, it's not something that they need to hold and keep under their mattress. I think that's very important.
Yeah, with SLP, I think everybody just needs to be patient. I'm not going to give any Oracle style forecast here, but as the PvP changes go into place and as botting gets reduced, we expect that it's probably pretty likely that the earnings or the amount being minted of SLP is probably going to be reduced significantly. We won't know the answer to that for a week or two. So everybody just needs to kind of be patient, let it all play out, and we'll see what happens. But, if we don't see a significant reduction, the team has already said that it's highly likely that the SLP portion of the breeding fee will increase, and that will have the effect, regardless of reducing the total SLP pool and making it more scarce, which will presumably drive up the value. So just be patient. Be patient. All right. More community stuff. This article, an interview with Trung. Pretty much anytime there's anything that has to do with Trung, I'm all over it, reading every word, trying to figure out what I can. Trung, one of the best things about Trung is his groundedness. And they asked him, what are your goals? Is your goal becoming a technology billionaire or something else? And I loved his response. I'm just going to read it because I thought it was that good. Personally, he says, my current goal is educating my kids well. I think I won't chase numerical goals. Money is a tool to create better things and implement my wish of doing something to bring benefits to people in society. But now I feel higher responsibilities than previously. And, that is the heart of what we have here. I feel like that's leading us out the right way. Yeah, it gets me. I really like what Trung has to say. He's very grounded. He's making good decisions. He's got a good vision for Axie Infinity, and he's got a great team around him. So it's very, very exciting. And then on a more fun side was this. It was still cutting and very important. This little Twitter series by Mr. All Green. I absolutely love this, and he's just comparing what he could do with his money. Why would he purchase Mystic Axie, or why wouldn't he sell his Mystic Axie when he could get a down payment on a house or buy a Model S Tesla? There's lots of things he could do, and you had a chance to read through this one pretty carefully, right, Enjoi?
Yeah. Yep.
And what did you think? I completely agreed with it. To me, again, I've been a gamer since forever ago, and I've always thought the digital assets are awesome. Accomplishments within the digital world are something to show off. There's something to laud. I think that there's something that's pretty dang awesome. I get pretty excited about it.
Yeah, no, I think he's spot on with this analysis, right? He's talking about how, and I'm just going off the first tweet in the series, but he could sell it and buy a house or buy a Tesla or whatever, a lot of real world tangible things. But he's holding on to it because it's a digital flex. It kind of for me it having a mystic, or I mean, even we were having this conversation the other day, like people get attached to their, like, the Axies that they use in Arena, right? Is having these things, like, it becomes a part of you at one point. You start caring for these things.
Yep.
for some weird reason that I can't quite place yet.
Yeah.
But it is like, for me, I've been part of the community for a long time. Having a mystic is almost required because I feel like it gives me, it confirms my place in the community. It kind of shows that I'm old hat, that I've been around for a while. It shows that I should be trustworthy. And this is another thing that we've talked about for a while, right? Is you having assets, kind of like if you burned people, if you went around and scammed somebody, the team technically could ban those assets.
Yeah.
And so having some valuable items, kind of, it's like your, I don't know, it's like putting a down payment on your reputation,
sure,
right?
Sure.
You can't lose that. So I think as we get more and more into this metaverse idea, you'll see a lot more of these things, and whether it's Mystic Axies or Japanese Axies or anything that is maybe a little bit more rare or a little less common, you having those things show other people your status or your trustworthiness, or any of those things. And I agree with them. You really can't put a price on having one of these things that there's so few of, and that the chance of it, like the value going up, is so great, because then it's not that you're going to miss out on additional value.
Yeah.
It's that you'll never be able to buy one again. That's really my fear, is like, if I sold one to to buy a house or something,
Yeah.
it's just so hard to reacquire one, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why they are so rare. One of the big things I think of when I see somebody who owns certain digital assets, Mystics certainly, is that they care, that they've actually, cared enough to have a stake. It's a different type of staking, I guess, but it shows that they have a stake in the assets, that they care enough to hold one of those assets, that they're that big of a supporter of the project, and to me that's huge. Another thing that I kind of looked at in Mr. All Green's post, because I thought it was great, is kind of the wake up call to other gaming companies, and I thought that was pretty cool. It's kind of saying, like, hey, if you don't start realizing how awesome these NFTs are and how important they are to your audience, you're going to be missing out really, really soon, really quickly. And I completely agree with that. I think that's absolutely true. I love gaming, and I have for a very, very long time. But if I can just have, because of a change of TOS or servers going down, I don't think I gave this story before. There was a little tower defense game that I love to play on the mobile phone, and it was Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I had spent, maybe I already told this story, I don't know. I had spent like a couple $100 on the pay for the skin thing in the Star Wars one, so that I could have certain, like, characters that I like from Star Wars. Well, a half a year later or something like that, they just don't have the ability to keep their license with Star Wars, and the whole thing just disappears. And, that sucked. I did not like that at all. So that's the sort of thing that I don't like, and I feel like NFTs in this space, digital ownership for players, kind of solves some of that stuff, and that gets me excited. I feel like I have a real stake, something that I can put my, my wallet, my digital hands on.
Your digital hands. I've got one more kind of comparison that I'll throw it out there, because
Yeah.
I don't want to make this all about Mystic Axies. I understand that Mystic Axies are unreachable for 99
Oh, there's lots of others,
percent of the
good
population.
ones though. Yeah, there's
There's a lot of other things,
Yeah.
but again, it's not even necessarily about the rarity. It's about, if you get attached to some of these, there's a reason for it. And what I'm kind of comparing it now to in my head is like, if you ever played any of the original Pokemon games, or maybe even the most recent ones, like I don't know about you, but I still had, no matter how shitty my initial starter Pokemon was, I always had him in my inventory at the end of it. Like, he was always part of my team. And you just don't want to let him go. And it's the same thing here. It's like, I think, and I've heard a lot of similar stories, like your first Axies, like you hold on to them, you don't sell them. It's just it's a piece of you at that point.
Totally agree. Alrighty.
And that's some of the magic here. That's what's I think that's what keeps people coming back.
Absolutely. And here's some of the other magic. This is fiscal magic. So
yeah, I like fiscal magic.
It's incredible. So sales of Axies have actually been going up the last couple of days. The total amount of Axies sold the last few days has been in the 60,000s, but in the last 24 hours, it almost hit 75,000 Axies sold. 31.5-ish million in 24 hours, just a little bit of volume. And in the past, just that, 210 million in the past week in total volume. And I took this snip just a little bit too late. A couple of big sales must have rolled off. It had ETH billion. Dropped. And it could be that the ETH price dropped too, absolutely. Yep. But it was showing $1 billion, and just incredible results for Axie Infinity in the total volume in the marketplace. And yeah, it looks like Ethereum's still struggling, but we'll survive.
It's normal. Hey, if you wanna detail a little bit more fiscal magic, if you wanna maybe make $100 bill appear behind my ear, that'd be cool.
No.
Okay. All right.
I'll have to send you some smooth love potions. Okay.
All right.
So awesome projects, pretty cool. It's interesting with these sharded Agamo Genesis Axies. Every single one of them they're trying to get back. I guess SPDs was never sharded, right? But it's funny, these got sharded, and now it's all the rage to pull these back. Crazy. The values here are pretty incredible. Coco was able to get his back for, what was it, 450? Looks like maybe the buyout already got rejected. I wonder.
It did, yeah. It got bought out, or it got rejected about an hour later. Somebody bought out his shares. So I think at a value of I don't remember. But yeah, he got countered. Basically how this works is the whole thing's still sharded.
Yep.
And I mean, really, if somebody buys up the shares, they can try it again. But unfortunately, Gabby lost. I think he had 20% of the shares. So it's gonna be hard to get those back. I think last time I checked, there were like 40 shares still on the marketplace.
Well, and again, what's crazy about that is we go from 450 Coco being able to get his back to the offer price was 582 Ethereum, I think I see. And I think that there are a lot of people that looked at that and said, wow, this is a 1 of 3 super special, ultra rare, basically impossible to acquire Axies. Right. And that might not be even close to a big enough price.
Well, if you look at, and I hate that I keep comparing Axie to Punks, but that's one of the places that we've seen similar volume and similar high price sales. And they've had $7 million sales for some of their rare assets. So it makes sense to me, especially now that more attention's coming into the Axie space, that people could see the same value dollar valuations on on especially these. I mean, there's only 3 Agamo Genesis, so yeah, we could see some crazy numbers by the end of the year.
I'm interested. I'm very, very interested because this is the only Agamo Genesis that is possible to acquire right now. And, you know, you see some of the quads, you see some of the prices that those are listed for. And, you know, this isn't enough, the 582 Ethereum. So it'll be interesting to see if somebody decides they really want to acquire. And this is an incredible, incredible Axie. So it will be interesting to see what happens.
So just for comparison, I mean, the only quad Axie that's listed, or quad mystic, is Galadriel at 14 million or 15 million. Actually, it's 500,000, or God, I can't talk tonight. 5,000 ETH. So yeah, way different. I mean, and even if we look at the triple mystics, the lowest price one is 1,200 ETH at 3.5 mil. So
yeah. Well, and I know
definitely.
that Shiny doesn't really want to sell it. I think
right.
It was listed more as a meme kind of amount. Wasn't it? Didn't he do the 42069 thing, or was that not?
I think he just raised it because he was actually afraid it would sell.
And it could have. I mean, that is an extremely rare Axie as well. So I'm going to be paying attention to this, and I'll be interested to see how this finally plays out with this incredible Agamo Genesis Axie. Here's the Axie Open 2. So this one says it's on August 21st, 22nd. I know that he was Saturday. Yeah, I know that he was posting that they were going to have it kind of looked like some of the top esports guys involved. Was that this one as well, or is that a different one that they were testing it out on? I just can't remember.
I don't know.
Well, he'd invited like Indus and Elijah and Z and Nate and Prathap and some of the kind of top. I think he did invite Bryson. Maybe Bryson's getting better than I realize. But it's awesome. It'll be cool to see that one play out too. Kind of a celebrity matchup tournament.
Yeah.
Just wanted to remind everybody about the roadmap. So I think we've pretty much hit server scaling. Things seem to be pretty stable. We are continuing to add daily active users, but things seem to be kind of plugging along. The marketplace is starting to work better. Odin got his direct links back. I know I wanted those back badly as well. Having to refresh all of the time was no fun in the marketplace, but we can direct link things a little bit better now. So that's pretty awesome. Max says they only half work. Yeah, I've noticed that they still sometimes crap out on you, but at least it's heading in the right direction. I think that we're getting closer and closer on the server scaling. Definitely seems like play is pretty stable right now. I'm crossing my fingers. I know that there was kind of a morphing issue, but I morphed a whole bunch and they all went through. It did take a little. It wasn't as immediate as it has been in the past, but they did go through within maybe like a half an hour. So, you know, you thought that the staking was coming soon. To be honest, I thought it was coming very soon as well. I did notice in one of the Discords, I think we're good to say this, but that Alex kind of reminded everybody that Q3 goes through September. I was kind of disappointed.
That was Mystic Mountain. So if you're banned tomorrow, that's why you're leaking. You're leaking leaks from the Mystic Mountain.
That's right. I don't always remember where everything comes from all the different Discords, but I don't think I've ever seen Mystic Mountain say you cannot. It's not like Fight Club, as far as I know. You know, you cannot.
I mean, you didn't really leak anything. He clarified how many months and which months. Oh yeah, that's the quarter. Anyways.
Oh hey, Max, that is worth pointing out. I morphed a whole bunch of eggs because I used Max scripts. It's worth a good shout out to Max. We haven't shouted out a dev for a while, and it is very, very useful. Makes morphing in quantities very smooth, very nice. So if you're interested in that, you ought to hit up Max. He's doing a great job with those scripts, and it really makes it so simple. You just let it run, your stuff gets morphed. It happens almost instantaneously. I mean, the script takes a little while to run through, but it's a hell of a lot better than click close, click close, click close. So, alrighty. Hey, was there anything else you wanted to hit on the roadmap? Ziori kind of said today they're trying hard to stick with this roadmap, and because I kind of think he knows when staking is, but I couldn't pry it out of him. But he also said that he might have an idea, but then he doesn't really have the final say. I don't think he has like a sure knowledge compared to other members of the team. But I don't know. I think staking is coming soon, but every time Jiho says sooner than you think, I've started to wonder, like, who's this you he's speaking of, because I could think of things coming pretty quickly.
I'm over here racking my brain about what else is left off the roadmap that we're looking at in front of us, and something that we missed tonight entirely is access on Coinbase. How did we miss that?
That's right.
That's huge news that we didn't anticipate. And I think that there's going to be a lot of things. There was another, and again, I don't remember where I saw it, so I'm not going to repeat it. But there was something in relation to, in relation to the tournament server, that could give a lot more, or put a lot more access into the treasury, which I thought was really interesting. So yeah. I think that there's a lot more like that they've got on their mind, that they're not quite putting out there. Some other things that I was thinking about today are, we've still got the Ronin, the little spaceship land item that we haven't received yet. We've got for those who've been around for a long time, we're still waiting for the airdrop. So that's coming, I think. So I mean, I think that we're going to start getting, a lot of this stuff was geared up towards by the end of the year. So either they're going to start pushing some stuff to next year, which is possible, or we're just going to start getting new updates every other week. I'm obviously hoping for the latter.
We saw that flurry of upgrades note as well, so I don't know.
Right.
Hopeful. Maybe they just were waiting for the 1-year anniversary of Axie Chat.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to see leaks in the chat.
I love it. Yeah. So this was pretty cool. I pay pretty close attention to Jiho's sheets that he's allowed people to see. I'm pretty sure that this is open to everybody. And our daily active users as of yesterday, 1.2 million. So it is not slowing down, my friend. Axie holders, this is different wallets, is just so close to 1.2 million as well. Should hit that easily by the end of the day. Maybe it already hit it today. So super, super awesome. We didn't actually hit the DEX, but just saw what Ouchie said. I think the DEX should be coming fairly soon. I've had a theory about that for a while. Just that it's probably important that staking happens as part of that. But yeah, cool. What do you think about this growth, man?
Were we at 1 million last week?
We were. Yep.
So we've gone up 200,000 in the last week. I mean, if we stay at this rate, I mean, we're going to have another, we're going to have 6 million people by the end of the year. More.
Yeah. It's incredible.
If we accelerate a little bit, we'll hit 10 million.
Well, and I'm looking right now at the Axis price. It's dropped below 70, and if we're headed to those numbers in daily active users, that seems weird that it would be that low. But okay,
I don't know
either. We're just a couple guys with spreadsheets and computers. So the treasury is doing phenomenal. It's just incredible. And again, the Axis price has shifted throughout the day too. If I would have taken the snapshot this morning, it would have been well over $1 billion in the Axis portion. Yep. And Ethereum is being kind of a weirdo right now too. And so, the Ethereum portion is a little bit lower in total United States dollar net worth. But man, it's just absolutely incredible. The Treasury's holding well over $1 billion in value, all of which will be slated for this project, for the stakeholders, everything that we want to see happen for the future of Axie Infinity. Not bad to have. Again, the Ethereum portion may not be already in the Treasury, which, if the team gets that, that's wonderful. More power to them. And it will just allow them to do even more and make their lives better. So I'm completely in favor of that. If it does happen to come to the Treasury, it's just good for the game, and they'll get their portion of it through holding Axis shares as well. So it's good either way.
I mean, let's put it this way. Even if the ETH doesn't remain in there, if they need to use that to pay bills or whatever, because they never promised it to us, and we're just going off of the Axis, that's $4 per every Axis in existence. So if you hold an Axis, you're gonna get $4 back. Like that's I think that's pretty crazy dividends. And it's only growing. We keep talking about revenue, and I think the piece that most people miss here is that breeding fee, that Axis going into their treasury. So
yeah,
man.
Yeah, so
cool.
I mean that's going to slow down a little bit with the breeding fee reducing from Axis, but that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
It's kind of weird that I don't think it was ever intended, because again, SLP is supposed to be the main token for breeding, and just the way things turned out with Axis, I think some historical perspective is important here. At the time they introduced the 4-Axis breeding fee, Axis was below 10. I think it was below 5. I think it was about 4 or something at that time. And so, it's kind of easy to forget where we were and what we were dealing with at the time. Certainly it pushed Axis in the direction that it needed to go. It was kind of ridiculously low, given what Axis is and what it, all the different things that it does for the Axie Infinity universe. It was ridiculously low. But at this point, it kind of feels like, okay, Axis is known. We see it. I think I saw it in the top 30 coins on CoinMarketCap. I think that for a minute it might even popped into the top 20 or something like that. So Axis is now kind of a known thing. I think maybe let more of the breeding stuff go back to SLP, but it'll be a minute. It'll all sort itself out. I have no concerns.
Yeah, it's at number 41 right now.
Oh, cool.
Right behind Shiba. So that'd be nice to overcome. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love this. I'm liking this page more and more. That's random. So I had put out on Twitter that I was doing a scholar spot giveaway for my scholarship team, and the person that has won that is Luna Enna, and I've sent you messages. So go ahead and respond to me, and let's see if you're interested in joining up with my scholarship team. I've never ever done it that way before. I don't plan to ever do it that way ever again. But it was, I think, a good thing to do for the celebration of a year. Almost always I just get them through referrals from existing scholars. So hopefully you're interested, Luna, and you want to join my team.
Yo, you just reminded me. I've got 2 Axies to give away tonight as well, and we're nearing the end of the show. We gotta do this quick.
Dang, dude. How are you gonna do that?
Let's do this. I'm going to think of 2 numbers between the range of 1 and 1,000.
Wow.
And whoever hits those numbers first, when I start saying go, I'll write down your names and I'll contact you afterwards. I'm going to write them in here just so baronar has them too.
You see some themes in some of those numbers.
Yeah. All right. Those are the numbers, baronar. It's written in stone.
Okay, I see them.
Yeah, we got 2 Axies. They're not too bad, I don't think. Maybe they are. I don't know. I didn't really look. But hey, use them as energy fodder. All right. So go. Start spitting them out, and if we hit them, we'll write down the names.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't think I've Seeing them so far.
Oh man, we're gonna have to cut this part out of the podcast.
Yeah, for sure, man. We could just start listing all the numbers.
I know.
People are getting close, but
I figure there's 630 people in here.
yeah, everybody's gonna at least get a couple shots here. I would expect.
Do. Ooh,
All
that's
right.
a close one.
Yeah, there was a close one there. Really close. Should we say who was close? I don't know, man.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, Ouchie was really close if I saw it right.
All right. I mean, we can't go through. We can't. Ooh.
Was there another
Nope,
close
not
one?
yet. I think
Oh,
I just mixed
I
up
saw
some
one.
numbers. All right.
Brad got one right.
Brad School of Block has
Yep.
one of them. At what? What was the number?
412, right?
Yeah. All right.
And the other one was higher than that.
It was higher
and
than
somebody
412.
was kind of close. Wonder Weird was kind of close.
Oh man. All right.
See if
Watching the numbers.
Things are getting a little bit closer.
Oh man.
They're ranging in. Oh,
Oh my God.
Oh,
it's
so
going
close.
Fast.
Spleen
It's
was
going so
really
fast.
close. Dude, this is kind of fun actually.
This is like it's turning into a game for me. It's like
I
Frogger.
know it's like a game for us. Here we are on stream.
Oh my God. We gotta do this every time.
Oh my gosh.
Real fire, real close. Oh, that one is dyslexic. If it was a little less,
Oh, yeah,
less dyslexic,
Odin's,
would be
yeah.
right there.
Let's see. Oh my gosh.
I always forget it. I gotta look every couple seconds. All right.
Hopefully we haven't. It hasn't.
Hey, there it
oh,
is.
there it is. I
We
see it
got,
now. Yeah, Padawan.
Padawan learner.
Padawan got it.
All right, guys.
Hey,
Congrats.
Padawan.
Congrats to our winners.
One of our-
I'll reach out. If I don't reach out, please go to our Discord and harass me into giving me your stuff. I'm writing down the names here. I'll find you after the fact.
So cool.
All right.
Well,
Cool. All right. Well, we got rid of some stuff. We got a scholar. We
yep.
got some Axies given out.
Away.
That was
That's
fun.
awesome. And Padawan. Yeah. So, and the other random thing, I just absolutely love it because, it's just so much fun. The whole jutsu. So, yeah, wood chopping jutsu on its way. So, alrighty. Okay. So, between two shrubs, if everyone is joining to make money, to extract from the system, where does the money keep coming from? It's a good question.
I know. So one of the things that's been on my mind all week, I feel like the bigger Axie has gotten, the more attention it's drawn, and the more attention it draws, more and more people start becoming critical. So I've heard a lot of, again, we've talked about it in the past, pyramid schemes and, just talk about how unsustainable it is. And again, I've run the numbers. We've had a lot of conversations about it. I don't think that's correct. And this is kind of the one topic that keeps coming up is where does the money keep coming from if it's not coming only from new users? But I wrote the question. Do you have any thoughts on it before I?
Yeah, I absolutely have thoughts. I do think that in any economic system, including the current economies that we have in the nations and in the world, there are winners and losers in the economies. That does not make something a Ponzi scheme or a scam or anything like that. That's just the reality of economics. And, the crazy thing, if you've ever watched those explains on Netflix, it's worth looking at the one that talks about people who are ultra wealthy. The crazy thing is that when people have just a lot, the more keeps coming to them, and that's just kind of one of the crazy things about the economy. So I'm not here commenting on something where every single person is going to be able to get rich. That's just not actually the reality of how economic systems work. However, there will be money that comes in and there will be money that comes out. And those that work hard and take positions that are going to reward them, they'll be able to extract some profit from what's going on. That's going to happen. So ultimately, there's so much more growth potential. It's hard to even answer this question because we're not even close to getting to the point where the growth is exhausted. Not even close. But once we do get there, what we're going to have is a whole universe of very, very fun games, fun experiences that people are going to be interested in consuming in one way or another. And whether that's cosmetics or other different things that people will actually pay for, that's going to happen eventually. It's going to be fun. People like to show, it's like the Mystic Axies we were talking about before. And if you can have a super glowy glove of herb gathering that, that maybe costs you a little bit of money on your credit card, but looks super cool and people can see it, people are going to spend money to do that. In fact, I would say, just based on people's entertainment, what they like to do with gaming, it's highly, highly likely that people are more willing to spend that in a digital environment where they can show it off to more people in a multiplayer setting than even in a real life environment, especially with the pandemic where you can't show off your super Michael Jackson glove of LED brightness, even if you own something like that to show off to people, or your cool watch. So many cool Breitlings and different things like that, or driving around in your Lambo or whatever it is. So the ability to show off something cool is so much higher and so much easier to attain within a digital universe. Actually, I think it's more highly likely that people will spend in a digital environment more so even at times than in quote unquote the real life environment. So
yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I've got a couple thoughts about this. Again, I've been thinking about it for quite a while. And number one, people aren't coming into the system and extracting ETH or US dollar. You're playing the game and you're getting SLP. The supply and demand is what actually gives SLP its value. And if you recall, several months ago, SLP was a couple cents, and then it hit 30, and it hit 20, and now we are where we are. And that's going to keep fluctuating as supply and demand comes, but you have to come into the game and expect that that's another game that's being played, is this supply and demand, and be able to kind of expect it a little bit. But it's not a the value is coming from the requirements from that SLP. So I think it actually does serve a very important role in the economy, and like Baronar said, it's not this people are getting given money to come in. They're playing an economic role in the economy, and basically producing blocks, kind of like Bitcoin, right? Like mining Bitcoin is kind of a similar concept as playing a game and earning SLP. The other thing that I just want to throw out there is that at different points in this game's life cycle, different economic policies are going to be required.
Yep.
Right now, we're in this massive growth period, and we quite honestly we need more Axies. If people join the game and there's not enough Axies to play with, they're going to bounce and go somewhere else. So we need more Axies, and we need the economic policy to entice breeders to keep breeding. And later on, we're going to get to a point where that doesn't make sense, and they might lower the requirements or change the requirements. So it's, maybe a little bit more equal. There's more equilibrium there. But, I think for where we are right now, this policy of, just spitting out Axies, while I can see some of the arguments for, kind of this Ponzi-esque nature, it's just where we're at right now. Yeah. Developing further into the system doesn't make sense because we actually need those Axies. We don't really want those Axies burned at this point. So I don't know, just my 2 cents.
No, I totally agree with that analysis as well. I absolutely agree that we don't have enough Axies. To me, it looks absolutely clear. I think there's 4.4 million Axies right now. I think there's about 214 Axies for sale on the market. But the problem is with what's for sale on the market is a lot of the stuff for sale on the market is either one, not that great in order to play PvP with, and there's a lot of that kind of closer to the floor. But then two, there's a lot of it that's listed for prices that are just not reasonable. They're not actually listed for prices that are going to allow for actual sales. So I don't know how much of the market is actually available. We know from the slide I just showed that there were 74,000 Axies purchased in one day. So we have to have a lot of Axies to satisfy that consumption demand. So that's awesome. Keep on breeding. And I think if you're paying close attention to the market, it's healthy. Hey, 1 year, Digital Nation has arisen, my friend. We're just continuing to have it rise higher and higher. Getting so very, very excited to throw back to dozens of episodes. Very, very excited about what's happening with Axie Infinity.
For sure. You know what? We've been looking at this this picture for that picture came out after we started this podcast.
Oh yeah.
I never realized there's a giant airship in the back, and now I just want to ride in that airship. Like there's so much more to explore in this world, and yeah, man, it's just it's so exciting to kind of see what's going to come out, what's going to come next, what they're going to do. You know, we've been surprised so many times, even though we've got this pretty detailed roadmap, and you know, I've had all these great conversations, and you know, it's again, we've got enough hints that crazy stuff is coming down the pipe that we can't even dream about, and I'm just so excited.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, it's very Gorillas-esque for those who like the Gorillas. Yeah, Axis August just happening. Incredible. A little bit low right now. Might be, well, anyway. All Access Pass, just want to let everybody know, we're done, at least for right now. There are none available direct from us. They can be acquired on the secondary market, but that's it. We actually burned all of the Q3 passes that were available for sale, and now the only ones that can be purchased are through the secondary market. You know, we've been very careful about this, man. We have not personally held any of these tokens for ourselves, even though sometimes I've kind of wished I had, so that somebody who's really wanting to join the membership side can, but that's not the way we do things. So, you know, we put them up for sale for other people to purchase, and we don't manipulate that on our own for our own devices. Hey, so that's
all about the free market. Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, this is Axie Chat 52.
52.
Crazy.
Next week is a new year.
Crazy. So, hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. We're very, very appreciative. The support that we've had has just been absolutely incredible. Thank you for the community support. We saw Axie Spike. He put a Twitter metric that I didn't even know how to get to. Sounds like our show is really, really liked in the Axie sphere. So
we're in the top 1% of all of Twitch.
It's crazy.
All of the most watched shows, which is awesome. So
Thank
cool.
You.
And just while we're on the topic of Axie Spike, he's actually running their after show with Dave versus Axie. So cool. You know, again, we had Newfound lead us in. Awesome show with the hula dancers. And now we've got Axie Spike taking us out. So guys, if you're not going home or you don't have anything else to do, definitely hang around. We got some more stuff coming up. Otherwise, for the people coming in for the after show, we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, see you guys soon.
What do we say,
everybody?
Baronar?
Freaking Axie hard.
Axie hard, guys.
All right, have a great night in Lunacia, or day, or whatever time it is for you. Take care,
whatever it is for you. Bye.